My beloved child, open your heart in this very moment. Do not hesitate. Do not search for reasons to delay. What I am about to speak to you does not come from a fleeting emotion, nor is it the result of some random coincidence you've stumbled upon. This is a divine warning, a sacred trumpet sounding from heaven, and it demands from you full attention, deep seriousness, and urgent response. What is being unveiled before your eyes is a heaven-ordained opportunity, marked specifically for you, and for today only, not for tomorrow, not for a time when you feel more ready, not for when things around you feel more convenient, but for right now. When your soul is still yearning, when you are still in a posture of seeking, and when your heart is still tender enough to tremble at the sound of truth. Understand this, my child. The fact that you are reading these words, that your heart is beginning to beat differently as you hear this call, this is no accident. It is not merely a random intersection of time and space. I have orchestrated each step of your journey to lead you to this very moment. Even when you thought you were lost, I was silently guiding you. Even when you believed you were casually passing by something insignificant, it was in fact a moment I had purposefully placed in your path. Because you have cried out to me in tears. You have whispered prayers no one else could hear. You have endured long nights without comfort, and still held on to faith, even if at times that faith was as fragile as a breath. And now, I have come to answer. Do not take this moment lightly. There are moments in life that will never return. There are doors that open only at their appointed time. There are words from heaven that are spoken only once, and if not received in their divine timing, they fade like morning mist. I do not bring this message to frighten you, but to emphasize the urgency of immediate obedience. There are things you will never fully understand until you step into that obedience, and it is in each act of trust, each small choice to follow the divine stirring within you, that you will uncover an entirely new territory, not only of answers, but of destiny transformed. You have been seeking confirmation from me, haven't you? You have said in your heart, "Lord, if it's truly you calling me, please give me a sign." Then this is that sign. This is the unmistakable response from heaven, a word that bypasses reason, pierces through every doubt, and reaches the deepest parts of your soul. Do not wait until all your questions are resolved before you act. For faith often does not require a full map. It simply asks if you are willing to walk with only a word. I know you are weary. I know how many times you have hoped and been disappointed. How many times you started anew only to watch it fall apart. But I also know that deep within you, there is still a flame that has not gone out. And it is that very flame that has drawn me to you today. For I am not here to demand perfection. I have come to awaken what I planted in you from the beginning, a calling that only your soul can truly recognize, a voice that echoes from the deepest places within, the ones you have tried to silence while living under the weight of others' expectations. Do not let the familiar hold you back. Do not let past failures blur your spiritual vision, and do not allow logic and analysis to block your path into something that surpasses human understanding. For I do not move according to human calendars, but by the timing of my kingdom. And now, that time has come. This is a season of transition, a time where I am moving you from delay into divine motion, from a land of fear into a place of anointing. You may think to yourself, am I truly qualified? Am I mistaken? Is there someone more deserving than I am? But I say to you, no one else can take your place. What I have prepared for you is utterly unique. If you do not step into it, no one can replace your presence in the plan I have carefully laid out. Do not fear your smallness, for I do not seek those the world deems strong. I choose those with willing hearts, and even if all you can offer me is a trembling courage, that alone is enough for me to move powerfully through your life. I have seen the tears you tried to hide. I have heard the sighs that escaped you in the darkness. I have known the moments when you nearly gave up. But today I do not come to rebuke you. I come to lift you up, not merely to help you survive, but to empower you to live boldly, to live in alignment with the identity I engraved upon your soul. Long before the world ever attached its false labels to you, you are not a product of circumstance. You are a warrior who has been called, a messenger who carries words of life, a torchbearer for your generation. Believe this: if I have spoken to you, then I will also provide everything necessary for the road ahead. You will not walk alone. I will go before you and level the mountains. I will walk beside you to uphold you when you are weary. I will walk behind you to guard you when you are unaware. And each step you take will no longer be steps of confusion, but steps guided by clarity and divine authority. So, my child, do not remain silent any longer. Do not remain seated in your place of comfort. Do not delay a divine calling just because of fleeting emotions. This is the time to act. This is the moment to open your heart. This is the hour to receive. Not merely because you want something to change, but because heaven is summoning you to take your place. This is not merely comfort. It is a calling, not just a soothing word, but an awakening. And if today you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Say instead, "Yes, Lord, I am ready." For when those words leave your lips, heaven will begin to move. Delays will be broken. Held-back prophecies will be unlocked. Closed territories will begin to tremble. And your soul will be ushered into a new season. A season of clarity, of growth, and of fulfillment. Do not let this moment slip by in silence. Do not lose a grace that comes only in its appointed time. Like a bird that flies across the sky once, then disappears into the clouds. You have walked too long carrying the weight, as if you had to be so strong that you were never allowed to feel weak. But my beloved, true strength is not in never feeling weary, but in knowing when to pause and receive strength from me. Be brave enough to be honest with yourself, even if only for a moment. You were never meant to carry it all alone. You were not created to fight in isolation. I never expected from you a strength drained dry, or an independence crafted from worldly pressures. My heart has never grown weary of your weakness. I have never been disappointed by your tears. On the contrary, those are the moments I draw nearest. So pause, my child. Let your soul breathe again. Do not see rest as failure. In my kingdom, rest in me is the beginning of renewed strength. How long has it been since you truly rested in me? How long have you lived in a constant state of alarm, your heart burdened, your mind racing, your faith trembling? You keep thinking you must try a little harder, control a little more, perform a little better, But you do not realize that what I seek is not performance, but connection. Not outcomes, but the deep bond between your soul and mine. Look back, my child. How many seasons have you walked through with a heart heavy with worry? How many nights have you tossed and turned in the darkness, trying to imagine every possible scenario just to make sure everything would be okay? And yet, the more you tried to fix it all, the more exhausted you became, the further you drifted from my gentle voice. You thought that if you didn't keep everything under control, everything would fall apart. But the truth is this: the more you try to grasp certain things, the quicker they slip through your fingers. And in those moments, I do not blame you. I simply sit and wait for you to realize there is a safe place where you can rest. That place is my arms. Come closer, beloved one. Let me carry what has weighed down your heart for far too long. The worries about the future you've never dared to say aloud. The wounds that never fully healed, but you've long forgotten you still carry. The silent expectations, the disappointments, the comparisons, and the invisible exhaustion. Lay them all down. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to have a plan for every situation. There is only one thing you need to do in this very moment. Let me in. Let me lift you from the land of endless anxiety and take you into a peace that no circumstance can shake. I know you've been living as though you always have to be fine. But my child, that false sense of being okay is draining you. You've grown used to telling yourself, I'm all right. But inside you're crying for help. I see it. I hear the cry of your heart, even when no one else does. You may be able to hide it from people, but you cannot hide it from me. And I have not come to rebuke you. I have come to heal you, not to demand more of you, but to pour into you a love strong enough to calm every storm. You are not a machine. I did not create you to constantly perform, to give, to sacrifice, and never pause to rest in my presence. I did not place you in this world so you could prove something to others. I formed you for relationship with me, that every step you take would not be a lonely journey, but a dance of trust between a father and his child. You don't have to strive to be loved. My love has no conditions. It doesn't pull away when you are weak. It doesn't fade when you make mistakes. It doesn't distance itself when you fall. In fact, it draws closer and becomes most real in the very moments when you feel you have nothing left to offer. Now I invite you to let go, not to give up, but to surrender into my arms. Let me take what has stolen the authenticity of your laughter. Let me heal the callousness that the rush of life has etched into your soul. Let me restore the part of your spirit that quietly died from always needing to be the strong one. My child, you were never meant to carry it all. That was never your destiny. That is the weight of misplaced expectation. I created you to live lightly in sacred communion with me, where every weariness is met with comfort, every pain is understood, and every empty place is filled with the tender fullness of my unconditional presence. Take a deep breath, dear heart. Exhale the worries that have taken root in you for too long. Lay down all the musts, the shoulds, the not enoughs, that you've heaped upon your own shoulders. I do not expect perfection from you. I only long for a heart that knows when it's time to pause, when it's time to return to the Father's embrace. You are not weak because you need comfort. You are not a failure because you need help. You are simply living in the fullness of the design I placed within you. A spirit that longs to be nourished, a heart that needs love, a soul that was always meant to be led. Now is the time for you to lay down your burdens and step into true rest. Not the kind of rest that simply means a day without work, but the rest that flows from gratitude, surrendering in trust, and returning to the very breath of life, the breath I breathed into your nostrils when I called you very good. Do not delay any longer, my child. Allow yourself to be weak in me, so that I may become your strength. And from that place, you will not only be restored, but reborn. Not as one barely surviving, but as one who carries life itself. Perhaps a quiet whisper of doubt still echoes in your heart, saying, maybe my time has passed. Maybe I've ruined too much. Maybe I've taken too many wrong steps to ever find my way back. These thoughts, though unspoken, have taken deep root in you like great clouds that obscure the light of hope. You've come to believe that you've missed it, that you've arrived too late for your destiny, that you've forfeited the right to dream again. But my beloved, I do not see you through the lens of your failures. I look at you through the eyes of a creator who delights in rebirth, who specializes in new beginnings. Even from what others have written off as beyond repair. I am not limited by time. I do not measure your worth by the years marked by failure. On the contrary, I take those broken chapters, those memory-laden places tinged with regret, those days that seemed wasted, and I paint from them a radiant journey far greater than you can imagine. I am the one who knows how to breathe life into ashes. I am the one who calls what was thought to be dead into a purpose even more glorious than before. For I am not only the author of your story, I am the one who rewrites the ending with the power of redemption and mercy that never runs dry. You think your past is a chain of links that holds you back, but to me, it is the raw material for something extraordinary. I do not discard what is broken. I redeem it. I do not ignore your stumbles, but I do not let them define you either. To me, every failure is not a period, but a stepping stone toward a greater rising. When you feel like you're retreating, it might be the very moment I'm preparing you for a breakthrough. When everything in you seems to be falling apart, I am quietly laying a new foundation, stronger, deeper, and unshakable. My child, I have seen it all. Every mistake, every wrong turn, every time you ran from the light because you believed you were no longer worthy. But I do not cast you away. I do not call you by names marked by failure. I call you beloved. I call you the vessel being remolded. I see within you a version of yourself that has yet to emerge, a soul that has passed through the fire and will shine with a light not born of perfection, but of surrender. You are not disqualified from my plan because of the cracks. You are preserved, and you will be used even more powerfully because of the very things that once made you feel weak. There are things within you that you've learned to hide. Deep wounds, hidden corners you fear others might see. But it is precisely those places, yes, even the ones you wish to deny, that I will descend upon with my greatest power. For I am not intimidated by darkness. I step into the deepest parts of the human soul to shine light, to prove that nothing lies beyond my ability to redeem. I do not require you to fix yourself up before you come to me. I only ask for a heart willing to open its door, even if that door is heavy with years of pain, even if it's a door you think no one would want to enter. You have underestimated what I can do through even the smallest act of surrender. A simple yes from the depths of your heart, a willingness to let go of the old self, a quiet nod in response to my gentle calling. That is all it takes to set heaven in motion. I once turned an unknown staff into an instrument that split the sea. I once used a young shepherd boy to bring down a giant. I once chose a woman with a broken past to become the first to witness the risen one. So, do you truly think I cannot use you, despite all the mistakes of your past? I am the one who delights in new beginnings. I do not despise immaturity. I do not grow weary of fresh starts. On the contrary, I rejoice when you have the courage to return, when you dare to step out of disappointment, when you still believe that something good is waiting ahead. I cherish the small sparks of courage within you, even when you're still trembling. I cherish your humility when you no longer try to prove yourself, but simply open your heart. In moments like these, you are most beautiful to me. For when you are weak, that is when my power is made perfect. My child, do not hinder yourself from stepping into a new season just because you cannot see the whole path. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to believe that I am going before you. Do not let the voice of the past drown out the promises I have spoken over your future. Every chapter you thought was a failure is now being rewritten by me, sealed with the ink of redemption. Every dream you believed was buried, I am unearthing and breathing resurrection into it. I am never late, but I wait for the appointed time, when your heart is not only ready to receive grace, but to live in it, as one who knows exactly to whom they belong. And remember, what you see as weaknesses, your sensitivity, your compassion, your deep longing to be accepted, may be the very foundation for the mission I've set apart for you. The very things the world once used to shame you may now be the vessels I use to reveal a facet of my love to the world. You think you're too wounded to be used? I see in those very cracks a sacred capacity to understand the pain of others. You think you've lost every opportunity. I am, right now, writing a brand new path. One not built on human chance, but on divine anointing. So, my child, don't turn your face away any longer. Don't let shame keep you from my embrace. Don't let doubt cause you to reject a love that is waiting with such enduring patience. This is not a call of condemnation. This is the voice of rebirth. And if you will only open your heart, if you will just nod in the quiet of your soul, then all of heaven will respond. I do not promise you an easy road, but I promise a journey with me, and that, my beloved, changes everything. I am still waiting for you, not to settle accounts, but to give you myself. Not to ask, why did you fail, but to say, let's begin again, right here. And in that new beginning, you will no longer be the version of you from the past, but a new creation, anointed to live, to love, and to be used in the eternal design I have written for you alone. Are you ready to step into that with me? If these words have stirred something in your heart, if a sacred, familiar echo has risen from within the depths of your soul, then, my child, don't close yourself off. Open completely. No more guarding, no more masks, no more hesitation, because I, yes I, am drawing near to you with a gift beyond human measure. Something new, something profound, a beginning etched in grace, marked with your name since before time began. Do you hear it? This is not just another day. This is the moment I have prepared in advance, deliberately marked in the courts of heaven, reserved for you, no one else. Do not let what I am doing slip through your fingers like sand. Do not dismiss this as a fleeting emotion or a passing thought. This is a pivotal moment, a turning point, quiet yet weighty, in the flow of destiny. You once cried out to me, begging for a sign. You wept in the night and whispered, "Lord, when will I finally step into what you promised?" And today, this is not a vague reassurance. This is the clear answer. This is the sounding bell. This is the moment when I am placing the key into your hand and saying, "Now is the time." You must understand, my actions are not confined to human calendars. I am not bound by clocks, seasons, or the hours that the world deems favorable. I move when the time is ripe, according to my eternal wisdom. And today, yes, this very day, the time has ripened. You do not need to wait until everything is perfect. You do not need to reach some transcendent state to be worthy. I only need you to recognize this is your hour, and I am here. For many days and months, you have lived with unanswered questions. You've walked through seasons where prophecy felt distant, and dreams that once burned brightly have turned to ash. You've sat in silence, wondering if you missed your moment, if you lost your chance. But I say to you today, clearly, unmistakably, you have not lost anything. Nothing is too late when I am the one holding time in my hands. What matters is not what you think you've missed, but whether you will dare to take hold of this moment with all your faith and readiness. Do you know why this moment is so precious? Because it is not merely a pause along the way. It is a gate, and behind this gate are things I have prepared long ago. Treasures yet to be revealed, gifts yet to be used, spiritual territories your feet have never touched. But only by stepping through now, yes, now, will you see the fullness of my intention. If you choose to wait longer, if you insist on more explanation, you will miss the divine movement already in motion. My child, with every breath I am calling you nearer. I do not want you to simply watch from afar, to hear my words like a tale told to someone else. I want you to become a living part of what I am doing. This is the season of divine alignment, where heaven's will meets human willingness. And you, yes, you, are being invited in. Not by striving, but by trust. Not with the heavy burden of I must succeed, but with the light step of I have been chosen. You may still believe you're not enough. You may still feel anxious, fearing that if you step out, everything will fall apart. But, my dear one, I have never chosen anyone because they were perfect. I choose hearts that are tender to my voice. And your heart, yes, it has begun to soften, hasn't it? The walls you built are cracking. The doubts are losing their grip. And if today you open your heart fully, I promise, what I do will exceed everything you've ever prayed for, dreamed of, or imagined. The day you open your heart fully, I promise, what I do will exceed everything you've ever prayed for, dreamed of, or imagined. Remember the times I rescued you from the edge, the moments I protected you, in silence when you didn't even know. The seasons that seemed pointless, but were really where I planted the seeds of life. None of it was accidental. All of it is converging upon this moment to show you that nothing in your life has been wasted. Every tear, every crack in your heart, every fall that felt final, they are all being gathered into my hands, so I can give you something greater than all of it, an anointed beginning. I can accomplish more in one moment of divine intervention than you could ever achieve in a lifetime of striving. The only thing I've been waiting for is your willingness, and the moment you say, "Yes, Lord, I am ready," the heavens will begin to shake. Locked doors will be opened. Silent places will begin to echo with life. Not because you are strong, but because you have surrendered. Not because you are capable, but because you have trusted in me. Be courageous and step into what I have prepared for you. This is a new land, a place where the question, "What if?" no longer haunts you, and the fullness of now becomes your dwelling. You will no longer be one who keeps glancing back in regret, but one who dares to look forward with radiant eyes, knowing that someone walks with you every step of the way. And I, that very one, am ready. Are you? For this is the hour I have marked. This is the timeline of restoration. A sacred moment when you are being called by your true name, not the one pain once gave you. And if today you respond, then one day you will look back and declare, "It was on that very day that I truly began to live." No more burdens, no more fear, only trust and a wide-open journey with the very one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Today carries a deeper meaning, a sacred opportunity carefully wrapped and placed before you like a gift from my own hand. This moment is not a random pause in your path, but a divine intersection where heaven and earth meet, where the will of heaven touches the deepest longings of your heart. Today has not come merely to pass by like a fleeting breeze. It arrives with the power to change the entire course of your life. If you dare to embrace it, within this day are hidden the very answers you once wept for, the things you stayed awake searching for, the prayers you thought had vanished into silence, the aching cries you've never dared to speak. All of them are being touched by me in this very moment. But, my child, what matters is not only the presence of the opportunity, but your response to it. Even a divine moment can slip through your hands if you don't reach out to take it. I cannot walk in your place. I can call. I can arrange. I can bring things right to your door. But only you can choose to move toward that door and open it. There are moments in life that are uniquely anointed, moments that carry the urgent summons of destiny, and today is one of them. If you let it pass, it will not return with the same depth, the same weight, or the same readiness I have prepared. Not because I will love you less, but because some seasons only open when you step at the appointed time. And now that time has come. I am earnestly calling you to respond, to act, to rise from the land of hesitation, from the safety zone called maybe later. Because if you do not step out, the breakthrough you long for cannot be released. You have lived too long in the sweet delay, in that place where you comfort yourself by saying, "A better time will come, there will be another day." But, my dear child, it is that very thought that has led you astray so many times, causing you to miss doors I had already prepared. I do not condemn you, but I want you to see this. The greatest danger is not always blatant rejection, but the quiet postponement of obedience. And today, I do not speak to scare you. I am not coming as an angry judge. I come as a loving father, urgently awakening you from the long sleep of spiritual complacency. Because I know, just a little more delay, and you might miss what all of heaven has been prepared to pour out upon you. My child, it is time for you to truly listen. Do not listen merely with your ears, but with your whole heart. Do not just sense my presence. Respond to it. What you need is not another prophecy, another sign, another confirmation. What you need now is a real step forward, a tangible action, an immediate obedience that does not wait for feelings to align or circumstances to be ideal. Because if you keep waiting for everything to be ready, you may never begin. It is your stepping out that will make everything ready. I know there are fears within you that you haven't yet named. Fear of failure, fear of being mocked, fear that if you step out and make a mistake, there will be no chance to make it right. But my beloved, I am not speaking these words to pressure you. I am not pushing you out of your safe place. I am holding your hand and inviting you to walk, not alone, but with me. And when you walk with me, nothing is too difficult, no door too high, no mountain too great. You don't need to have everything figured out before you step in. What you need is faith. And if you have enough faith to say, "I don't know what lies ahead, but I know the one who is calling me is faithful," then that is enough. For I do not call you only to abandon you. I do not open a path only to leave you to walk it alone. Every step you take in obedience, I will make firm beneath your feet. You will see what once seemed impossible will begin to yield. Knots will begin to unravel. Walls that once stood in your way will begin to crack. Not because you knew how to make things work, but because you placed yourself within the current of divine will. My child, it is time for you to step out of the land of delay and into the land of readiness. It is time to move from pondering to doing, from hearing my word to living it out. Do not let the enemy steal your moment through doubt or passivity. Do not let your natural eyes cause you to miss what is unfolding in the spiritual realm. If your spiritual eyes were opened right now, you would see hosts of angels waiting to act upon my word, waiting for you to step into your part. I am sounding a wake-up call, not just to momentarily stir you, but to redirect your entire course. I am giving you this opportunity not for a fleeting emotional reaction, but for a real transformation of your life. A deep, root-level shift, one that detaches from the old patterns. And it is through this change that you will begin to understand the true meaning of your past years, even the ones you thought were wasted. My child, if today you truly hear my voice, Do not harden your heart. Be sensitive. Tremble if you must, but still take the step. Cry if you need to, but still move forward. Because every step of obedience matters, even when it's not perfect. I do not require you to move quickly, only that you move in the right direction. I do not expect you to prove anything. I only long for your response. And once you respond to me today, with sincerity and complete trust, you will no longer live as one who is passive. You will live as one who knows they are standing in a moment of divine grace, as one who is chosen to fulfill something greater than themselves. From this day forward, your life will no longer be defined by what has been, but will be led by the one who is making all things new within you. My beloved child, do not delay another moment. Do not let procrastination become the snare that keeps you from stepping into the glory I have prepared. I am opening before you a precious door, a rare opportunity not given to everyone, not always available. And that opportunity is here right now. It does not come with thunder, it does not flash with lightning. It comes with a quiet authority. Only those with a sensitive heart and awakened spirit will recognize the sacred weight it carries. Act, my child. Do not wait for your feelings to stabilize before stepping forward. Do not wait for circumstances to be perfect before beginning. For this opportunity waits for no one who hesitates. It was designed for those who listen to the call and dare to move, not by sight, but by faith. What I am inviting you into is not a burden. It is not a forced obligation. It is a loving invitation. A gentle yet powerful summons, urging you to leave the shore of safety and enter the land I have set apart just for you. I know there may still be many fears lingering in your heart. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being abandoned midway. But remember this: if I am the one who opens the way, then I am also the one who will preserve you. If I have called you to walk, then I will also be the one who provides everything you need to complete that path. You don't have to walk alone. I will be with you every step of the way. You don't have to stumble in the dark. I am the light that guides you. And if you still have doubts about the direction, pause for a moment, just to listen. Because even though my voice may not thunder like a storm, it is always clear to a heart that longs to be led. Do you see it? The next steps have already been marked out. Not a detailed map to satisfy your intellect, but signs sufficient for your soul to recognize. I lead not through control, but through relationship. Every step you take in obedience is a step closer to your eternal purpose. And it is this very journey that will prove you were chosen, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing to be transformed by me. Be cautious with hesitation, for it is not merely a delay in action, but a slow extinguishing of the fire within. Hesitation kills vision. Reluctance blurs the call. And if you keep analyzing, keep waiting for a greater sign, you may miss the very thing that is most clearly before your eyes, this divinely appointed moment. A chance not only for personal change, but to be powerfully used in heaven's plan. My child, do not underestimate the weight of this present moment. This is not just another day in your life. It is a sacred intersection where your path meets my will. And if you step in, you will find yourself ushered into a journey far greater than anything you've ever dreamed. A journey not to make you stand out, but to make you become who you truly are. The version I envisioned long before you were born. A journey where each step is a quiet response that says, "Lord, I believe." You don't need to see the whole road ahead. You only need to walk the part that is lit before you. Faith is not walking when you're certain. It's walking when you're confident in the one who calls. Everything you've been through, even the parts you wish to forget, is being used by me to prepare you for what you are about to enter. Nothing is wasted. No pain is meaningless. No tear falls without me noticing, and all of it is being gathered, so that now, in this very moment, you may walk forward with a confidence that comes from heaven. This is not a random journey. This is a path preordained by the one who sees from beginning to end. When I called you, I had already seen the full journey. I accounted for every stumble, every moment of retreat, every weakness that seemed to threaten the whole process. But still, I called you, because I see something in you that you have yet to see in yourself. A potential forged in fire, a flame not easily extinguished, a heart that may tremble but still obeys. Let today be the day you decide to no longer live from a place of fear. Do not let the past overshadow the future. Do not let the whispers of doubt drown out the clear call from heaven. You do not have to understand everything to take a step. You only need to believe that the one inviting you is the one who loves you most, knows you best, and holds the most beautiful plan for your life. You've been asking me for change, haven't you? You've cried out in the dark, "Lord, do something new in my life." And today I am responding. Not through a sudden miracle, but through a gentle invitation to co-create change with me. Day by day, will you step out? Will you let me lead? Will you dare to believe that the best is yet to come? And it all begins the moment you say yes. My beloved child, in the midst of everything happening around you, there is one truth you must never forget. You are not alone. Even when it feels as though you are walking a long, dusty road covered in shadows, the truth remains as unshakable as solid rock. I am with you. I do not watch from afar like a silent spectator. I am present, closer than your next breath, nearer than the thoughts that pass through your mind in the stillness of night. I know every weight you carry, every pressure pressing upon your heart, every sigh you've swallowed to spare others from worry. And because I see it all, I am moving, quietly, yet deliberately, to bring forth the goodness you've long prayed for. Do not think that reading these words is mere coincidence. There is no coincidence in my kingdom. Everything is intricately woven within my wisdom. Even this very moment, when you pause to listen, when you allow your heart to open and receive what I am whispering, you are stepping into the flow of divine purpose. These are not just words written on a page. This is my heart being poured into yours. This is your confirmation that I am actively guiding your life, every step, every decision, every seemingly meaningless motion. You've been carrying unanswered questions deep within, wondering over the years, Lord, are you listening? Do you really care? Do you still remember the things I once asked you for in tears? Today I want you to know, every word you have spoken, Every silent cry in your heart has not been lost in the void. They have reached me, and I have not only heard you, I am answering. Not always with thunder, not with spectacular signs that demand applause, but with my gentle presence, with steady guidance, with divine precision, bringing you to the right place, the right people, at the right time. Believe this. Nothing in your life is random when you walk with me. And when you whisper your gratitude, even just a quiet thank you in the stillness of your mind, you are doing something far greater than you realize. Because gratitude is not a polite gesture. It is a declaration of faith. It is when you choose to trust what I am doing, even when you cannot see it yet. It is when you choose to thank me, even before the answer arrives. Because you know I am the God who is never late. And from that very place of faith, faith ignited in the midst of uncertainty, a wave of divine transformation can begin. I can take even the smallest expression of gratitude and use it to unlock the beginning of a brand new season. Remember, you are not only meant to receive comfort, you are also called to release it. Do not keep to yourself what you've received from me. There are people around you waiting for a sign, longing for confirmation, clinging to a fragile thread of hope that will keep them from letting go. And you might be the one to bring that light. Do not underestimate the power of sharing. A word from me spoken through your lips can pull a soul back from the edge of despair. A heartfelt message from your journey can become the breath of life to someone who is breaking inside. You do not know who is reading, who is listening, who needs the very thing you once desperately needed. But I do, and I will use you, if you are willing. The guidance I've given you is not a treasure to be locked away. It is a flowing stream, and water stays fresh only when it flows. Show me you value what I've spoken by letting it turn into action. Don't let my words stop at emotion. Let them take form in your response, in the way you live, the way you pray, the way you give. Every step you take in obedience, every time you say I believe, even with trembling lips, is a sign that you are receiving what I've divinely arranged. The times you didn't give up, remember that there was something deep within you that kept you believing, hoping, and seeking. That strength didn't come from your own striving, my child. It was the breath of my spirit, quietly sustaining you when you didn't even realize it. And now, as you choose to respond, to give thanks and to live fully with what you've received, heaven rejoices. For a heart of gratitude is rich soil where I can plant greater things. You don't have to do something grand to please me. Sometimes, a simple and sincere act like sharing a word of encouragement, offering an intercessory prayer, or giving someone a compassionate glance is enough to move the heavens. Don't believe the lie that you must be perfect before I can use you. You only need to be willing. And from that place of willingness, I can do far more than you could ever comprehend. Live as though you truly believe you are being led. Walk with the confidence of one who knows that a faithful one goes before them. Pray like someone who has heard my voice. Love as one who has been deeply loved. And give as one who understands they have been entrusted with a treasure far too precious to keep to themselves. My child, today is a melody of grace, and you are living within its rhythm. Don't let this sacred song be silenced by your hesitation. Let it ring out through your life, through every act, every word, and every step of faith that shows you believe my words are true. Because they are, and you are walking in the reality of that truth. So now, beloved one, step forward with trust. Let the light within you shine, so that those who are still wandering in the dark may find their way home. Let your gratitude become a powerful weapon that drives away the shadows of doubt. Let your thankful heart be a spiritual declaration that says, I believe God is at work, even when my eyes cannot yet see it. And above all, remember this: I am not only the one who began the good work in you, I am the one who will faithfully bring it to completion. My precious child, the words I'm whispering to you today are not merely comforting sounds. They are living water, poured out to heal the dry and weary places of your soul. This is not a hollow message, nor an empty encouragement. Every word has been distilled from the love of the one who has seen every wound you've carried. I know how tired your heart has become after striving for so long. I see the doubt hiding behind every time you've tried to rise again, and that is why today I come not to demand something from you, but to place something priceless into your hands: restoration. I am not here to scold you for slowing down, for wanting to give up, or for letting your heart grow cold. On the contrary, I've come to draw you closer, closer still. Close enough for you to hear not just my voice, but to feel the warmth of my love beating for you. My child, I know there have been days when you've walked through life like a shadow, still breathing, still moving, still smiling, but your spirit fractured within. And I say to you today, you don't have to keep living that way. Let your heart open once more. Listen not only with your mind, but with the part of your soul that longs for new life. What I'm speaking now isn't a list of dry principles. It is the voice of a father reaching down to lift you up. These words aren't just meant to inspire. They are meant to breathe life into the places within you that have been silent for far too long. I have already prepared everything you need. You no longer have to search aimlessly. No more wandering from place to place, hoping someone might understand you. It is I who have set the table before you. Each day, I provide the bread of life and the flow of living water for your soul. And I wait for you, every morning and every quiet night, not to see you pretending to be strong, but to witness you returning just as you are, honest, fragile, and open. My dear child, do not underestimate what I have prepared for you in this very season. You may think that great transformations are only reserved for those who seem more important, more gifted, or more deserving. But here is the truth. You are the one being called. You are the irreplaceable part of my greater plan. No one else can stand in the place I have crafted specifically for you. No one else can carry the voice, the compassion, and the unique light that I wove into your being from the very beginning. Your place is one of a kind. Your presence is essential, and your role cannot be substituted. As long as there is breath in your lungs, there is a chance to return to me, to step into the renewed clarity that I am offering. This light I give is not only to guide your steps, but to illuminate your spirit, so that you may once again see your true worth. I do not promise that the path will always be smooth, but I do promise this: I will always provide enough light so you never have to stumble in the dark. And every time you feel weak, I will be your strength. Every time you feel lost, I will be your compass. Every time you feel insufficient, I will be your fullness. But perhaps the most beautiful part of all this is that I do not merely do these things for you. I also desire to do them through you. My child, now is the time for you not only to receive, but also to pour out. Not because I need you to pay me back, but because true life flourishes when it is given away. Just like a flame that spreads without losing its fire, I want my word in you to spread powerfully, gently, and with love. There are people around you who are currently walking through the very places you once knew so well. They carry questions you once wrestled with. They are wearied by battles you have already fought, and that is why you are the perfect one to guide them home. I am calling you not to be their savior, but their guide, not to carry the weight of the world, but to share the light that has already pierced your darkness. You don't need to preach. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be real, to be willing, to speak, to pass along what you've received to the 3 people I've placed on your heart right now, because they are thirsting for a kind of support that only I can give. Send this message as if you were handing a cup of water to someone parched. Open your mouth as if you were finally speaking aloud the words you once longed to hear. Because what you share today could become a lifeline to someone who feels like they're holding on by a thread. And here's the wonder. In the very act of giving, your own soul will be refreshed. In the moments when you uplift others, I will use that same flow to strengthen you. This is the rhythm of grace, a stream that never runs dry, so long as you don't try to keep it all to yourself. And finally, my beloved, remember this. I am not the kind who speaks once and then turns away. I am the one who walks beside you day by day. Don't think today is the last time I'll speak to you. Tomorrow I will still be there. The day after I will remain ready, and forever I will still be me. The one who loves you with an unending love, the one who sees you even when all others look away, the one who is always near, even when you cannot feel me. So, my child, walk forward with gratitude, with a renewed boldness, and with the posture of one who knows they are being led. Embrace this, share this, and live fully in this sacred communion. For one day, when you look back, you will see it was moments like today, when I whispered into your heart, that redirected the course of your entire life. And I, the one who began this good work in you, will be faithful to complete it until the very end. Beloved, pause for a moment and reflect deeply, not just with your intellect, but with the heart that longs for what is real, what is alive, what is holy. Ask yourself, with all sincerity, what will happen if I keep delaying? What if I hesitate to take hold of what God has prepared just for me since the foundation of the world? What if I allow this opportunity to pass me by, quietly, like so many other moments I've lost before? Lost to doubt, to fear, or to the exhausting effort of trying to please others more than honoring the quiet truth within myself. My child, this is not a rhetorical question. This is a gentle but urgent wake-up call. For what I have appointed for you cannot be replaced by another, but it can be delayed. and the cost of delay might be years lived with a gnawing ache, a vague sense that I could have been different. I do not create you for a life of almost stepping out, almost believing, almost beginning, almost reaching. No. I formed you to go all the way, to walk in fullness, to live a life marked by heaven, a life not just surviving but transforming the world around you with the light I placed inside you. But that light only bursts forth when you choose to move, to obey, to trust. And in order to do that, you must learn not to overlook the small but sacred stirrings happening right now. Ignoring a gentle prompting today may dull your sensitivity to hear the more significant instructions of tomorrow. Neglecting a small nudge in your spirit, a nudge to speak encouragement, to kneel and pray, or to forgive someone, could throw you out of rhythm with the current of grace flowing toward you. I do not say this to frighten you. I say it because I love you. I have seen how many defining moments have been lost simply because someone turned off the divine invitation too quickly, thinking, maybe later will be okay. So please, my child, read this all the way through. Don't stop halfway. Don't let your mind be pulled away by other voices vying for attention. Don't let the noise of life drown out the quiet yet powerful voice speaking within you right now. I need you to go all the way with me. Not just through this message, but through the journey I am inviting you into. And if you feel a strange resistance, an urge to pause, to set this aside, to save it for another time, know that this resistance is not from me. It is the soft, subtle opposition that disguises itself as safety, whispering like a familiar friend, "It's okay if you don't do this right now." But my child, I implore you, do not heed that voice. Stay alert, stay present. Keep your soul rooted in this moment. For this is one of those rare times when I am drawing near in an unmistakable way, touching the depths of your spirit with words not meant for decoration, but for deliverance. Words to shatter chains, words to light up the dark corners, words to awaken the dreams and callings that have long slumbered within you. Have you noticed it, my child? The deeper you go, the more you begin to feel something stirring within. Perhaps it is a pain you've never named. Perhaps it is a hope long buried. Or perhaps it is that strange yet familiar sensation whispering, "Maybe he really is speaking to me." Yes, my beloved, it is I, not an abstract idea, not just a fleeting inspiration. It is me, the one who has followed your every breath, the one who walked beside you silently when you felt most alone, the one who loved you even before you knew how to love yourself. And I want you to understand this. I do not need your perfection to speak to you. I only need your presence. I do not demand that you understand everything in order to be guided. I only need you to open your heart, remain awake in your spirit, and let me take your hand. Because this journey cannot go on by your strength alone. It can only continue when you let me walk with you. And the most beautiful part is this: I have never grown weary of reminding you that there is still hope for you, that the best is yet to come, that when I open a door, no one can shut it. So, my child, if you've once abandoned the things I stirred within you, if you've said, maybe tomorrow, and never returned, then today is your moment to rewrite the ending. Let my faithfulness soften the heart that once closed itself. Let my patience help you walk beyond the fear of being too late. Because in my kingdom, there is no such thing as too late, as long as your heart still longs to return. I do not speak to frighten you, but to awaken you. I do not call out to condemn, but to redeem. I do not lead you to the end of this message just to finish a paragraph, but because I am giving you a word from eternity, and you have no idea what miracle might be unlocked when you read to the very last line. You are not just a receiver. You are one who has been called, and no calling that comes from me is ever without meaning. Remember, it only takes one small act. Reading through to the end, keeping your heart open, choosing to believe, to set off a transformation far greater than you can imagine. Maybe today is the day you let go of a burden you've carried for too long. Maybe today is when you realize you are still loved, still chosen, and still have a reason to continue. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment you begin to truly live. Not as one standing on the sidelines, but as one stepping into the promised land, shaped uniquely for your soul. So, my beloved, if you've come this far, then come all the way. If your heart has begun to stir, let it echo. If your spirit feels that something is real, do not remain silent, because when you walk this all the way to the end, you will find I am still here, waiting, embracing you with all the patience that only eternal love can give. And at the end of every hesitation is a new beginning, one I have prepared specifically for you, my child. It is in this very moment, as you read these words I've sent, that clarity is beginning to shine into the foggy corners of your mind. The things that once confused you, the inner conflicts you couldn't name, the questions that burned like embers beneath the surface of your soul, they are all now beginning to be touched by light. But not a blinding light that overwhelms you, no. This is the gentle, steady light that comes like an old friend, placing a hand on your shoulder and whispering, I am still here. You once cried out for restoration. You once whispered in the darkness, just give me a sign, a shift, a glimmer of hope to know that everything I've been through wasn't meaningless. And today, not through thunder or earthquake, but in this quietness, I answer you. In the stillness of this very moment, a sacred realignment is taking place. The false values you once lived by are being replaced by truth. The directions you once followed based on fleeting emotions are being gently redirected. The broken pieces within you are being gathered, not randomly, but by the hand of the one who never does anything by accident. And it doesn't stop there. What you've been waiting for all this time, what you thought had been indefinitely postponed, what you assumed was meant for someone else, is now being placed directly into your hands. A blessing not sent merely to comfort you, but to launch you into a new season. But, my child, this blessing is not something that activates automatically. It is tied to a specific calling, a clear instruction, a next step that I have already etched into the path of your life. Don't think for a moment that you haven't received direction. It has been there more often than you realize. The trouble is, sometimes your mind is too noisy to recognize it. I've spoken through dreams you dismissed. I've whispered through strangers who crossed your path for just a moment. I've used pain itself to teach you what no classroom ever could, and now I am gathering all those scattered fragments, every overlooked emotion, every unnamed longing, every unspoken prayer, to form a direction that is unmistakable and precise. You don't need to run in circles, searching. I am already pointing the way. But know this, with this clarity comes responsibility, because no one else can walk this path for you. The door you've prayed over again and again is beginning to open, just slightly, just enough. It does not burst open with fanfare. There are no loud announcements or banners. It opens in quiet, just enough for those attuned to me to notice. And I want you to understand, this door is not meant for someone else. It is custom created for you, with just the right height, the perfect width, and hinges anointed by the very tears you shed as you waited, in unwavering hope. You can no longer delay this step. If you remain still, the door won't slam shut, but the grace that is flowing in this moment will not remain at full strength. Blessings have their appointed time, and hesitation doesn't simply mean missing a chance. It can mean missing a divine appointment your soul has been destined for. My beloved, I say this not to frighten you, but to awaken you to the sacred urgency of this moment. Not every day is the same. There are days marked in heaven long before you ever breathed your first breath. And today is one of those days. Do you know why? Because I have seen your silent faithfulness. I have counted every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness. I have recorded every act of kindness you carried out without expecting applause. I've known every moment you rejected shortcuts just to preserve your integrity. And now, all of that is bearing fruit. Not as a reward, but as a confirmation that you are standing in the place I've prepared for you. This door is the fruit of your consistency. Your responsibility is not to be better. Your responsibility is to walk through, even if you tremble, even if you don't know what awaits on the other side. Walk through like someone who doesn't need all the answers. Just one assurance that I am still with you. And that assurance, my child, you already have. It's the unexplainable peace you feel, though nothing around you seems to have changed. It's the gentle pull you can't ignore, though no one is pushing you. It's the wind stirring in your spirit, whispering, "Now is the time." Step through, and you will find that on the other side of the door is not a vague, uncertain land, but a realm I have carefully prepared for you. There will be new relationships that will uplift you, fertile fields where your calling will flourish, and deep lessons that will shape you, not just to survive, but to make an impact. And there, you will know without a doubt, your waiting was never in vain. For, oh, my beloved child, what I am placing in your hands is not merely a message of comfort, but a lifeline. Words of crucial guidance meant to help you choose the right path amid a multitude of diverging roads. I do not come to soothe your emotions with poetic language alone, but to pour into you divine wisdom, wisdom from above, that equips you to know exactly what to do in this very hour when everything around you is shifting rapidly. You may not fully realize it, but even now, in the seemingly random flow of circumstances, I am placing into your hands clear instructions, true relief for the burdens you carry, and precise help tailored to the smallest details of your needs. My child, this is not simply an invitation. It is a beginning, a rebirth of your weary soul after long days of exhaustion and silence. This is fresh breath for a heart that has grown tired from having to be strong for too long. This is the wind of change you once dreamed of through tears, yet never dared to believe could be real. And I am telling you now, do not let this precious moment pass like a fleeting breeze. Do not assume you can come back to it later, for there are moments ordained by heaven that come only once in a lifetime. I know you've delayed before. I know you've sat down and stood up again many times without doing what I gently urged you to do. But today is different. Today is unlike the times before, because today is a moment of divine transition. It is a day I have marked in the personal history of your life, the day you step out of the shadow of stagnation and into the light of divine purpose. So, my child, stay alert. Keep your spirit awake, like a watchman waiting for the dawn after the long night. Do not fall asleep. Do not drift aimlessly. Do not let yourself be swept into things that may seem harmless, but are quietly stealing your focus from what matters most. You must understand, just as I know the weight and urgency of this moment, so too do the forces that stand against you. And they are not idle, they are lurking. They seek to blur your vision, to disrupt the rhythm of your heart, and to delay every step you were meant to take. They will not come in obvious ways, but through busyness, distraction, and sudden waves of doubt. They will whisper, "There's no rush. You can do this later." They will plant questions in your heart. Did I really hear correctly? Is this truly meant for me? And you will feel the urge to stop, to double-check again, to wait for more confirmation. But my child, I tell you this in both love and seriousness. Do not listen to those voices. They are not from me. Doubt, when born from a sacred prompting, can lead to healthy discernment. But when doubt rises to paralyze you, to restrain your obedient steps, it becomes a weapon of darkness. And you must not give it shelter. That kind of doubt is not insight. It is deception disguised as wisdom. Do not let your mind be tricked. Do not let your awakening soul be lulled back to sleep by those whispers. Remember this: you are not walking alone. You are walking in my word, and as long as you remain in obedience, no power can stop you, except your own hesitation. Stand your ground like a soldier in a storm, knowing that the commander still has his eyes on you. Do not back down. Do not waver. Even if your emotions rise and fall, even if your circumstances seem to resist, remain anchored in the conviction I have already planted in your heart. And if you need a reminder, let this be the truth you hold on to. You are not being left behind. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are inside a divine plan written specifically for you, every detail, every step. And every time you walk forward in faith, heaven responds. Every time you say yes to what I have spoken, every time you say yes to what I have spoken, every time you choose belief over fear, an entire spiritual realm is activated to support you. You don't need to have all the answers in order to move forward. You only need to obey just one step. then another, and another. The journey is not a giant leap. It is a series of small, faithful, timely steps. And I am there in every single one, ensuring you do not go astray, ensuring you do not fall. If you stumble, I will uphold you. If you lose your way, I will call you back. If you grow weary, I will strengthen you. But what I need from you now is steadfastness, trust, a yes that is not clouded by fear or reasoning. And when you walk through this moment without turning back, you will step into what I have already prepared for you. Not a dry and barren land, but a place where dreams are nourished. No longer a season of exhaustion, but a season of revival, of ascension, and of unwavering stability. You will look back and realize the moment you said yes today was the moment you began to truly live, not as someone pushed around by circumstances, but as someone led by the living one. So stand firm, my child. Take that step. Believe. And remember, this is an appointed time. This is an invitation written in mercy. This is a provision flowing from my boundless goodness. And if you receive it, heaven itself will move in coordination to bring you into the place I have chosen. Not by your own strength, but by my unfailing faithfulness. My beloved, this is not the time for me to simply soothe your hesitation. I have come to shatter it. This is the moment when I no longer whisper softly, but raise my voice with power to awaken your soul from the fatigue of delay. You've lingered long enough in the stillness of waiting. It's time to cross the delicate threshold between almost and actually beginning. Today is not just another day. It is a day of action. It is the moment you are being called to transform what was once a vision in your heart into a tangible step, carried out with courage, awareness, and surrender. I know that delay doesn't always come from laziness. Often it wears the disguise of fear. Fear of failure, fear of being wounded again, fear that the task is too great for your capacity. But my child, I do not call you based on your strength. I call you based on the power of the one who created you. And when I call, I also provide. Procrastination can no longer set the pace of your life. Eternal opportunities must not be lost simply because you chose safety over obedience. So listen to my voice. Truly listen, not through the veil of anxious analysis or constant fear, but with the tender heart that longs for what is real. I am whispering into the deepest place of your soul, the place no one else can reach. And I am telling you this: you are being called to move forward, not tomorrow, not when you feel fully ready, but today, right here, right now, in the state you are in. Even a small act, a seemingly insignificant step, can become a meeting point between earth and heaven. You do not need to understand the full journey. You only need to obey the first step. And sometimes, that first step is simply letting go. Letting go of the disappointment that has clung to you like a burden. Letting go of the betrayal you've held in your heart for too long. Letting go of expectations that never came from me, but have weighed heavily on your shoulders, distorting your sense of calling. Look deep into your soul. Is there something still anchoring you to the past? Is there an event, a memory, or a word that keeps turning your gaze backward instead of forward? If so, I tell you now, it is time to lay it down. Not because it wasn't significant, but because you are more significant. Not because I have forgotten how much it hurt you, but because I want to heal it at the root. You cannot step into the new while your hands are still clinging to the old. Remember this: the prayer you once whispered in your weakness still echoes in the heavens, and the promise I gave you has never been withdrawn. If I have spoken it, I will fulfill it. But for that to happen, you must realign your aim, not with the goals the world has painted for you, but with the purpose I planted in your heart from the beginning. That purpose is not simply about success, it's about bearing fruit that gives life. Not just about doing something great, but about fully living what I have uniquely written for you. And to truly live that way, you must forgive. Not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve to be free. Bitterness is a hidden chain that has imprisoned your soul far longer than you realize. Forgiveness is the key, not just to unlock others, but to first set yourself free. Let go of what no longer serves my purpose in your life. The relationships, the mindsets, the habits that once delayed you, that once clouded your inner calling. Let them fall away, because every day you spend in delay is a day your destiny is postponed. And this world needs you, not in a neutral place, but in the place of your calling. Someone is waiting for you to step into the position you were made for. A soul is waiting for the light you carry. A generation is waiting for your voice. Not a perfect voice, but a voice that has known pain, that has been broken yet still chooses to speak in faith. My child, do not let the dream I planted in your heart wither away just because you lack the courage to begin. Do not let the calling I placed upon your life become something you always reconsider. This is no longer the time for endless hesitation. This is the moment for decisive movement. To say enough to delay, to say now to the call. I do not need you to be extraordinary. I only need you to obey. Your obedience is the sign that tells me you are ready, and as you begin to walk, you will realize that every small step you take has already been counted, prepared, and blessed by me. What once seemed random will begin to form a story, my story for your life. And in the moment you finally let go, you will feel yourself grow lighter, light enough to rise, light enough to hear more clearly, light enough to finally believe that you are not forgotten, not useless, not lost. You are called. So, my child, hesitate no longer. Move forward with a heart no longer divided. Choose what nourishes your soul, what awakens your spirit, what makes you come alive again. I have been here your whole life, and today I am not leaving. I am going before you, making the path clear. I am walking beside you, guarding every step, and I am coming behind you, shielding you from what you cannot see. But I wait for just one thing from you: a real step, a step out of the old and into the new. A place you will only understand once you finally move forward and realize why I waited for you so long. My beloved, I am calling you now, not just to rise, but to step into the path of power and light. The path I prepared for your soul even before you knew it existed. This path is not paved with ease, but every stone on it is soaked with my presence and grace. Embrace it, not cautiously, but with the trust of a child who knows their father is near, always ready to guide and uphold. I know you don't always feel ready. There are moments when your heart feels tangled, weighed down by unfinished things, by dreams that never fully blossomed, by fragments of memories that make you question your own ability. But my dear child, what I ask of you is not perfection. What I long to see in you is a heart that is willing to open up, willing to believe, willing to step forward, even if your legs still tremble. And I am here, not to demand from you, but to give, not to add more burdens, but to lift what has already become too heavy for you to carry. Receive this moment with an open heart. Do not close yourself off just because the past left its wounds. Do not limit what I can do based on previous disappointments, for if you continue to see the present through the lens of what's been lost or broken, you will never perceive the new thing I am bringing forth. I am not like the world. I do not come to rehearse your failures, but to write a new chapter. A chapter not bound by what went wrong, but woven from mercy and eternal purpose. You do not have to walk this path alone. I am here. I have always been here. Not only in your victorious moments, but especially when you collapse and have nothing left to hold on to. I am the silent breath in your sleepless nights. I am the voice of comfort, whispering through your mind when it seems like the world is turning its back on you. I am the flicker of light that never goes out. Even when the storm covers everything, my presence is not dependent on how you feel. It is my unchanging promise. I'm not going anywhere, and I will never leave you behind. Look back at the journey you've traveled. How many times did you think you couldn't go on, yet somehow managed to make it one more day? How many moments did you feel completely alone, only to be met by something, a word, a hug, a strange coincidence that came just in time to remind you that you are loved? That wasn't chance. That was me, and I am still doing that every single day. But this time, I don't want you to merely survive. I want you to live boldly. Not just hold on, but overcome. Not just get through, but rise in the power I give. When you feel the weakest, that is when I can show my strength in its fullest form. Do not be ashamed of your low moments. They do not diminish your worth. In fact, they are the birthplace of renewal. I do not scold you for being tired. I open my arms to pull you closer. When doubt clouds your mind like a gray fog, when uncertainty eats away at your choices, remember this: I am the one who does not change. In a world that spins faster and faster, my word is your anchor. And there, in the stillness I place within you, you will find direction. Not from noise, but from the quiet I've sown deep in your soul. I am not drawn to you because of what you achieve. Your accomplishments, your results, your outward victories, they do not increase my love for you. I loved you before you ever did anything for me. I saw you in your mother's womb and called you by a name that no one else knew. What draws me to you today is not a list of achievements, but a sincere heart. A heart that may be fragile, but is true. A heart that, though broken, still long. A heart that, despite wanting to give up, chose to stay. That is why I could never turn away. My child, you may not see yourself as strong, but I do. I see courage in every tear. I see faith flickering in your cracked heart. I see the silent sacrifices that no one applauds. And today I tell you, none of that is in vain. They are seeds sown in deep soil. And now the season of harvest is beginning, not by human strength, but by grace. So rise up, step into this new day like someone backed by heaven itself. Move forward as if my words are true, because they are. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and walk not under the weight of what could have been, but in the freedom of what is coming. Don't worry about how far you'll get. Just take one step. I'll take care of the rest. There are moments when you feel as though you're drifting in a vast, endless sea, unable to see where the shore might be. Trials, worries, and failures can shake your confidence and make you question both yourself and the path you're on. But remember this, even in your darkest hours, you are never alone. I am always with you, quietly lifting you up, guiding you forward, and giving you the strength to take your next step. Life is not always smooth, but it is precisely through difficulties and trials that you grow and discover the hidden strength within you. Small efforts, when practiced consistently, build into great outcomes. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the purpose destined for your life. What matters most is that you focus on what you can control and trust that perseverance will lead you to fruitfulness. Take time to reflect and listen to the quiet voice deep within your soul. Every moment you choose to endure hardship, every time you face fear with courage, you are bearing witness to the power that resides within you. Do not be afraid to seek help when you need it. No one is meant to walk the journey of life alone. Connection and sharing will renew your strength and reignite your faith to keep pressing on. Remember, you don't need to be perfect to begin. You simply need to begin. And each day, you'll grow into someone stronger, someone more refined. Don't let fear or doubt become walls between you and your future. Believe in yourself. Believe in the road you are walking. And most of all, believe that I am here, walking with you every step of the way. When you find yourself walking through the fog of uncertainty, when your mind feels exhausted from trying to discern the right direction, and your heart feels on the verge of giving up in the face of overwhelming obstacles, this is when I call you to pause, not to surrender, but to listen. Listen to the whisper of life that says, every effort, no matter how small, even your hesitant steps in the dark, is brushing against a greater tapestry than you can yet perceive. You may not see the outcome of your efforts right away, but that does not mean they are in vain. On the contrary, your quiet persistence and your loyalty to what is good and true are the very foundations of a life of depth and meaning. My beloved child, do not expect the path ahead to always be flooded with light. I never promised the journey would be easy, but I have promised that every step you take, anchored in truth, will never lead you astray. True progress is not found in grand, public triumphs or dramatic breakthroughs. It's found in quiet resolve, in courageous decisions known only to you and me. There will be days when your greatest accomplishment is simply standing firm, and that alone is a victory, because that is the day you chose not to give up. I see each moment when you wrestle with yourself in silence. I see when you find no clear answers but still refuse to let go. Every time you turn to face the truth, no matter how painful or shattering, it is then that you are digging deeper into the foundation of your soul. Those quiet moments when you sit alone, examining your heart, not to justify yourself, but to find the road of accountability. Those are the moments when your inner strength is being sharpened and set ablaze. You may not realize it now, but through every honest decision, through every step you choose to take, even when no one is clapping for you, you are writing a story of courage, a story heaven itself is watching. And my dear child, do not be afraid when failure comes knocking. Failure is not the end. It is an invitation into the classroom of growth. Sometimes it is your mistakes that become the most valuable teachers. They reveal to you lessons that success alone might never have shown. You may stumble, but do not allow your heart to grow hard. Keep it tender enough to receive the lessons, and strong enough not to be swept away by guilt or sin. Every time you rise after a fall, I see a radiance in your soul, not because you are perfect, but because you refuse to let failure define your worth. Understand this: with every small step forward, with every act sown in sincerity, you are cultivating a sacred harvest. Today may feel like nothing more than a buried seed, with no sign of flower or fruit. But if you remain faithful and water it with hope, it will grow into something far beyond what you've ever imagined. For true success does not always make a sound. Sometimes it's simply a soul at peace, knowing it is walking in the will of God, and it is that quiet, steady perseverance that becomes the flame, keeping the light alive when all else seems to fade. My child, if you're walking through a day that feels meaningless, if today is filled only with unnoticed, mundane tasks, remember, even the smallest offerings, when placed in my hands, become the foundation of the miraculous. Do not measure the value of your day by visible achievements, but by the courage you poured into it. The courage to forgive, to try again, to keep walking the path of righteousness. You may not yet see all that I am building in the silence, but I assure you, everything you do in love and faithfulness is recorded in heaven, down to the finest detail. At times your soul will grow weary. Questions will press in with no clear answers. The voices of the world may cause you to question your worth. But I ask you, do not be swept away. You are not living to satisfy the gaze of man. You are living to please me. And every small act of gratitude and obedience is shaking the kingdom of darkness in ways you may never know. Let your heart find rest in this truth. You do not need to be great in the eyes of the world to be cherished in mine. You do not have to accomplish the extraordinary to be counted faithful. It is in the simple, honest things, in your daily attempt to live rightly, to live sincerely, to live in a way that honors me, that your strength is built. There is no such thing as meaningless repetition when your heart is fully present, for I, the one who sees the depths of your soul, will use these very quiet steps to lead you to glory. And my child, as you walk through each day with a heart that does not turn away from challenge, you are helping to write a story that is not only your own, but also a lesson, a beacon of hope for others. There are souls watching, fragile ones, observing how you live, how you rise, how you keep moving forward. You may never know their names or see their faces, but the light within you is guiding them, and that is why you must not give up. So keep walking, though the steps are slow, though the tears fall. I am there, walking with you. I see every drop of sweat, every unspoken prayer, every moment when you hold yourself together just to keep standing. And I promise you, not one thing done from a faithful heart will ever be in vain. One day you will look back and realize that the days you thought were meaningless were the very days laying the strongest foundation for your destiny. My beloved child, I know there will be days when your soul feels submerged in the silence of unanswered questions. Days when the waiting stretches out endlessly, and your heart, weary from hoping for so long, begins to whisper its doubts. Have I been forgotten? Is the promise still valid? But hear me, child. What I have spoken, I do not revoke. Even when you cannot see, even when you feel nothing in the stormy sea of your emotions, I am still working. I am quietly weaving every thread of your destiny with a wisdom that surpasses all human understanding. Perhaps in these days, as you look ahead, all you see is a misty veil, a silence that makes it seem as though I am distant. But remember this, dear one. Silence does not mean absence. In the seemingly voiceless moments, I am tending to your soul, deepening your faith, and teaching you the most sacred lesson of all: how to trust without tangible proof, how to remain faithful even without immediate results. It is in this very waiting that your heart is learning to beat in rhythm with heaven, not in haste, not in panic, but with steady gentleness and divine resolve. Do not let the delay rob you of your hope. My timing is not your timing. I do not work by the clocks of men, but by the calendar of eternity. I see what your eyes cannot yet perceive. I know exactly what must come first, what must wait, and what must be carefully prepared so that your soul may fully receive the grace I am getting ready to pour out. Not a single moment in your journey is wasted. Even the delay you endure is carrying within it a sacred lesson, a refining fire, and a preparation that I would entrust to no one but you. Imagine a blacksmith with a piece of iron. He heats it, strikes it, and places it into the fire again and again. Not to destroy it, but to shape it, to burn away the impurities, to make it strong and useful. In the same way, the hardships you face today are not meaningless. The steep hills that tire your feet, the deep valleys that make you feel alone, these are the very places where your strength is being forged. Your perseverance is blossoming, and your faith is taking root deeper than ever before. I have already arranged the reward for you, but I love you too much to let the blessing arrive before you are ready to carry it. What I have prepared is not something to be received in immaturity or haste. It is a portion reserved for the souls refined by tears, for those who have learned what it means to walk in darkness while still lifting their eyes toward the light. It is a reward for those who do not merely dream, but persist, who do not only ask, but endure, and believe without ceasing. So, my child, do not let your physical weariness lead your soul astray. I know there are times when your legs tremble and your heart grows tired from hoping for too long. I know there are nights when you lie in the dark, tears falling unnoticed, your heart crying out, "How much longer, Lord?" But it is in those very moments when you feel the most faint, that I draw closest. I lift your head, I wipe your tears, and I whisper into your ear, just a little longer. Don't give up. You are closer than you think. Believe that every season holds its purpose. The season of sowing is not the same as the season of harvest. The dry season is not like the rainy one. But all are necessary to complete the full cycle of life. If you are in the season of waiting, then let your heart sink its roots deep into the holy soil of my presence. Let my word be the living stream that nourishes your faith. Let your unseen faithfulness, unrecognized by the world, unpraised by men, become a fragrant offering to me, a living testimony that your soul belongs to the light and not to the shadows. And my dear child, believe this: I never begin a work that I do not intend to complete. Every good work I have started in your life carries within it my unshakable promise it will be brought to completion. Not in the way you might expect, but in the way I know is best for you. I am not one who speaks and then forgets. I am the faithful one, the author who wrote the story of your life long before this world began to turn. And if I have begun something good in you, I will surely bring it to fulfillment. No plan of mine can be thwarted. No promise I have spoken will ever be voided by time or circumstance. So, my beloved, hold tightly to hope, even if it feels like a fragile thread. Stand firm in faith, even when your heart falls silent without the reassurance of feeling. Keep believing, keep walking, keep pressing forward. For there is one walking beside you, clearing the path ahead of you, and waiting at the end of your road with arms wide open. Do not let the fog of the present blur the glory of your future. Do not let today's delays cause you to forget that what I am preparing for you far exceeds anything you have ever asked for. I have seen your silent steps. I have heard the sighs that no one else understands. And I assure you, every burden you carry today, every tear that has fallen to the ground, is being recorded in heaven. The harvest is coming, and it will not be delayed even for a moment. It will arrive precisely on the time set by my hand, when you are ready to receive it fully, not just with your hands, but with a heart that has been made strong and mature. My child, if your heart is weighed down with burdens that have slowed your steps, if sleepless nights and anxious thoughts have drained your strength, then pause for a moment and lay that burden down before me. You were never meant to carry it all alone. I did not design you to wrestle in isolation, with nameless fears, pressing responsibilities, or unanswerable questions. It was I who breathed your first breath into being, and it is I who now invites you to hand over what you can no longer hold. Don't hold on to the things that exhaust your soul. Don't try to stand on your own when my arms are already open to receive you, to carry the weight for you, to soothe the ache in your heart, to wipe away the tears no one else sees. Lay every worry at my feet, whether it is a small fear that lingers in the background, or a burden so heavy it threatens to crush your spirit. For the peace I give is unlike the world's fleeting calm. It is a rest that surpasses human understanding, a deep and holy stillness, even when the waves around you are crashing loud. You may be surrounded by chaos, injustice, and unexpected turns. But I want you to know this: what you see is not the full picture. What your eyes perceive is only a narrow slice of the grand symphony I am composing. Behind the curtain of heaven there is movement, silent but profound. Things are unfolding for your benefit in ways you cannot yet see. Trust that nothing, no matter how tangled, falls outside my divine orchestration. When the pressures of life come crashing in like relentless waves, I do not stand afar and observe in silence. I do not leave you to fend for yourself. On the contrary, it is in those moments when you feel like you cannot go on that I draw near, closer than ever. I do not require you to be strong. I simply invite you to surrender. Lay down your burdens. Let go of your need to control everything. Make room for me to come in and do what only I can do, because I am not only the one who knows all things, but the one who loves you more than you have ever loved yourself. You do not need to understand everything in order to believe. You only need to trust that I will never let you fall from my embrace. When you are weary, I will be the place you can lean on. When doubt clouds your mind, I am the unwavering truth. When you are weak, I am the strength that never fades. You don't have to always know where you're going. Just know that I am walking with you, and that alone is enough for you to keep moving forward. Walk on, not burdened by the weight of the world on your shoulders, but with the inner conviction that you are chosen, deeply loved, and covered by a care that never retreats. Even if you feel invisible to others, to me, you are always seen. Even when you feel insignificant, to my heart, you are irreplaceable. There is not a single day I don't think of you, not a single moment my eyes leave the path you are on. I have engraved your name on the palm of my hand. Every step you take, every sigh you release, every whispered prayer you lift, each one reaches my heart. You don't have to fight to be heard. You don't need to shout to be noticed. Just one glance from your downcast eyes moves heaven itself, because you are my child, the object of an unshakable love, a creation woven together with divine care and wisdom. So, my beloved, doubt no more. Fear no more. Grasp the promises I spoke over you long before you ever knew pain. These words are not just comforting phrases to soothe you. They are a covenant written in my very blood. Let my assurance be the anchor that holds your soul firm in the storm. Though the world may shift and people may turn away, my word will stand unshaken, and my love will never run dry. When you believe this, you will learn to let go of your striving. You will no longer have to wrestle to control the flow of life. You will no longer be caught in the whirlwind of comparison, competition, or the fear of being left behind. For you will understand that everything is moving according to the sacred flow I have designed. Nothing arrives too early. Nothing is delayed. Every moment is right on time. Every step holds purpose. And then, when my appointed time comes, when the gray rains recede and the warmth of the sun breaks through, you will see how I led you through every season, every trial, every seemingly endless night. You will see that none of it was random. It was all for you. Because my love for you is greater than any failure, wider than any limitation, and deeper than any pit life could throw your way. You will enter into a place of abundance, not because you deserved it, but because I chose it for you. A place not merely of material sufficiency, but of soul deepfulness. a place where peace reigns, where fear and doubt no longer govern your steps, a place where you can breathe deeply, walk boldly, and live fully, knowing beyond all doubt that you are loved, chosen, and held in everlasting arms. Now, bring me your prayer. You may say something like this: Dear Heavenly Father, my beloved and Holy One who reigns above the heavens, today I come before your throne of grace, not with hands full of righteous works, but with a heart broken and overwhelmed with gratitude for the word you have so mercifully spoken over me. I am not worthy to receive such sacred warnings, yet you continue to teach me with unwavering kindness and love. O Lord, I feel every word from you like sacred wind breathing into my soul, awakening me from the spiritual slumber I had been lost in for far too long. Lord, I humbly bow before the truth you have revealed. I confess that I have not listened closely enough, nor obeyed fully. I have leaned on my own understanding, trusted in my intuition, and followed the sway of my emotions. But you, the one who sees all things, who knows what is hidden from my eyes, you came right on time to warn me of the hidden trap the enemy had quietly laid. You did not allow me to be deceived by sweet words or by false appearances wrapped in the disguise of affection and goodness. How marvelous it is, Father, that your love not only lifts me up, but shields me with light and truth. My heart trembles, Lord, at the realization that in the very moments I believed I was walking the right path, the enemy was secretly gathering, scheming, and conspiring in the shadows to overthrow the position you had entrusted to me. And yet I thank you, for in that darkness, you did not leave me blind. You pulled back the veil so I could see clearly, not to frighten me, but to teach me to rely on your power more than ever before. Lord, forgive me if at any point I became complacent, if I let my guard down, if I trusted too easily without seeking confirmation from you. I once thought I was wise enough, but you have reminded me that without the illumination of the Holy Spirit, all human wisdom is but dust. Today I return to you, choosing to fully lean on the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Please correct my steps and show me the way forward in this trying season. I thank you, because your words never stop at warning, they carry hope. I am grateful that you not only expose the schemes of the wicked, but affirm that I am the one you have chosen, preserved, and led. And because my position is established by your hand, I believe no one can steal it away. As long as I remain steadfast in obedience, I ask you now, Holy Spirit, pour out heavenly wisdom upon me, so I may discern truth from falsehood, sincerity from hidden agendas. Open my spiritual ears so I may hear your voice, even amidst the loud clamor of the world. Place within me a peace that surpasses all understanding, that I may not be shaken by what lies ahead, but stand firm like Mount Zion, unmovable. Lord, if there is anything within me that is not aligned with your truth, any lifestyle, thought pattern, or relationship that leaves me vulnerable to the enemy's schemes, please reveal it and cut it off. Purify me, refine me like golden fire, that I may be a worthy vessel for the divine purpose you have ordained. I also intercede for those who are plotting evil in secret, though their hearts may be consumed by jealousy, selfishness, and ambition. I know no one is beyond the reach of your mercy. If it is possible, please touch their spirits, bring them to repentance, so they may not plunge headlong into destruction. But if they persist in their rebellion, I ask you, O righteous one, rise up to defend your name, your plan, and your child, me. Loving Father, I surrender all into your hands. Every word I will speak, every action I will take, every person I will meet, every step I will tread. Please guide, arrange, and orchestrate all things according to your good will. Send forth your angels to surround and protect me, and confuse the enemy in their own schemes. I believe, Lord, that deliverance has already begun. The new door is being opened, and your hand is lifting me from the danger I did not even see. You are not only my God, you are my Father, and no father would abandon his child in the grip of danger. I thank you for your unwavering faithfulness, your unfading love, and your powerful intervention when I thought there was no way out. May your light continue to shine upon the path I walk. May my heart forever remain united with you, not because of the blessings, but because I have come to realize that without you, I am nothing. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. If you love the Lord, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the meaningful and life-giving messages from Him. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fully rooted in His love. Amen.